Hey, thanks for joining us for another segment of Canadian Bacon Stocks. This is the Holiday Strategy Edition, and next week's action with gap ups and the banks. I'm going to get right to the banks today because let's take a little peek here. That's the TMX that's on the screen for you. Always check out the TMX if you like, but I called last week earlier in one of my other segments that there's going to be a lot of bank action, Canadian bank action. And, it's lucky to be good to be lucky sometimes. And these banks did jump on Friday, September the 1st. Check it out, gap ups. This is on one of the gap ups, the Canadian Western Bank. So it's good to pay attention to the news, at least it is for me, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. Sometimes you got to diversify, even though the Magnificent Seven are doing extremely well. You can also take advantage, so it could be a win-win for you on a Friday, which it was for me. I didn't capitalize enough on these banks. As so many of them jumped, I can't be everywhere at once, as my buddies say on the live trading on YouTube. But look at the gap up and 11% on Canadian Western Bank. I called that the CWB. So I've been lucky in the last 10 days with some really good calls with Shopify and Amazon. And now these Canadian banks have fallen in line. So I think I had a supermoon. I saw the supermoon last week in Canada. So, these things come every 37 years or something like that. Or now it's going to be 100 years. So it's been a supermoon for me in the last week of trading. And now I'm just sharing it with the banks, and the gap ups coming up and our look into next week trading. So we're going to cover that real quick. My friends only give me 9 minutes and 44 seconds today, so I'm going to move it on. So there's a Canadian Western Bank. Look at the National Bank gapped up on Friday. There's my smiley face algorithm. But it gapped up nicely. Like if you can make a couple bucks on each one of these stocks on a Friday, that's what an incredible day. So this National Bank leveled out. But take a look, going through just the Canadian banks. Toronto Dominion gap up September the 1st. There's my little rocket ship. Kaboom! Right up. Look at this gap up on Friday morning. The Royal Bank of Canada, same deal on Friday, September the 1st, 2023. Gap up huge. So I didn't advise you guys to jump in on these, but I said pay attention, and look what happened. All these earnings reports came out for several of these banks, and it just drags up, it just pulls everybody up into the sky, as Bank of Nova Scotia will show you too. Wow. What an incredible opportunity that was for, once again, look at this in the morning on September 9:33. If you're around, if you can get in on that action, that's excellent. And so I did capitalize. And then one of the guys that always kicks, there's my little guy that always kicks me in the face is Laurentian Bank of Canada. It went the other way. So that's the way it goes on those. So today we're really going to cover, those are the banks for last week. Keep your eyes on your fries with the banks. These sizzle stocks turn me over. I'm done on this side. It's not the case with these Canadian banks. I can't predict, and nobody can, but I can't predict what's going to happen next week with the holidays. We're going to be discussing holidays today, the opportunities that are available to you by taking advantage of the American and Canadian holidays, coinciding or falling back to back or not. So let's take a look at that. We're going to get right in there. So we're going to get some nice crispy stocks, maple flavor bacon stocks today, okay? And we're going to carry right over to that opportunity in the news, and then we'll cover holidays. So this is interesting. It's 3 mega cap stocks to buy in September, right? So you have your Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Apple. It looks like technology stocks have had a historic run in 2023, recovering from a disappointing performance in 2022 that was marked by rapid interest rate hikes and slowing economy. Momentum turned around sharply for the group in 2023, fueled in large part by AI-driven rally. So I'll just read a little bit more. However, the NASDAQ composite hit a hurdle in mid-July, pressured by mixed earnings season and looming prospect of additional rate hikes. Story of my life, yeah. But with shares now finding their footing and turning higher from recent lows, it looks like an opportune time to scoop up quality names from outperforming tech sector. So that was interesting news. Jot those down. I've mentioned them several times before in other segments, but looks like they're going to be a little buoyant. Keep an eye on those guys. Down on the right side here was the Meta rejects Justin Trudeau's proposal amid Canada online news dispute. This is interesting. Taylor Swift's Eras tour rakes in $26 million in pre-sales, shattering AMC records. One other item today on the news for the Sunday, September the 3rd, 2023, Tesla Cybertruck tows trailer. Did it just debunk Ford CEO's notion of being only a cool high-end product? So looks like there's some potential coming out for that one. So that's market news just for the weekend. Not too exciting. China's neighbors and one other item. We got GameStop coming up, DocuSign and Kroger earnings next week ahead. So be aware of that. I'm going to go through the earnings economic calendar too in just a moment. So on the stock heat map for Friday and now upcoming, but we got the variance, a lot of green on the chart for Friday, as you could see, and I'm going to cover those just quickly. Look at Royal was up. Those are the finance category in Canada. As I mentioned, a lot of them up 2%, 1%, 1%. CIBC 1.16, fabulous, eh? Even in the energy minerals, and we're going to cover that in a sec, up 3% in some categories. 2.96, 2.79, just incredible energy minerals. Technology, I always love Shopify and Dollarama. There's a lot of changes going on with Dollarama down here, up 1.1%. So keep your eyes out for Dollarama and Shopify. Moving over to the stock screener real quick, because my friends only give me that 9 minutes and 44 seconds, and I'm running out of time. We got the Canadian Western Bank up there in a strong buy on the stock screener. Did I tell you that? So keep your eyes on this one. I find that the bank's very promising these days, especially after what I've shown you. On the stock screener too, you got your Tamarack. If you notice though on the right side down here, these are just, I didn't pick these. These are just on the screener. A lot of them are energy minerals sector. Look at that. There's only a couple in the electronic technology. A lot of strong buys in the energy. You got Vermilion Energy, Navista Energy. Wow. A Bazinian Energy. Yeah, I didn't say that right. Curaleaf Holdings, of course. Surge Energy. A lot of energy. Tenaz Energy. Bonterra, you get the point. Check out the energy sector next week for the Canadian stocks. Maybe promising something to keep your eyes out for, right? In the economic calendar coming up for Canada, just the unemployment rate on September the 8th at 8:30 a.m., and that's what they're doing on September the 8th. Nothing coming through in the United States. The ISM services, it claims it's critical, but I would just stand by on that one. That's on September the 6th. So not too much pressing down in Canada. The top gaining Canadian stocks as of Friday, September the 1st, CGX Energy, Mogu Inc., Cresco Labs. What we had, I like the Surge Battery Metals. That looks okay. And a couple other strong buys. Well, there you go again. Here comes the bad boy. Here comes the big kid on the block. Well, he's not a big kid, but he's getting bigger. Canadian Western Bank again. Strong buy. And Medicure, that's something you should look at too, in that other industries, right? So you want to keep diversifying. Those are the top gainers for Friday, September the 1st. So those are the banks over there. Let's go to the top gainers. And once again, look who's going to be on the hit parade. Canadian Western Bank again, right? And that was in the gap ups, right, for Friday. And Tech Resources, these are the TSX gap gainers. Oh, I would have liked to have been on this one. Precision Drilling Corporation, up 3.87%. Tech Resources, look at that jump too. So these are some stocks that you may want to, Canadian stocks you may want to jot down. As you can see, they're extremely violent in nature, volatile. I say violent, right? But they are violent because they can hit me, punch me, and also, reward me, as I've mentioned, which is more infrequent because these gap ups can really stun you, are really incredible. So Canadian Natural Resources is another one, and Paramount Resources. So those were the gap ups for the TSX. So that's what we're looking at for today. We're going to cover the holidays really quickly. So let me move over to our holiday, American holiday. So on Monday, July the 3rd, there was a Canadian holiday in 2023. And then on July the 4th, it was an American holiday. And it just so happens I was holding Tesla. I sometimes, I day trade, but I swing trade some stocks, and Tesla is one of them. So this is the American holiday. So you may want to jot some of these down. Just use it as a rule of thumb. It's just an extra revenue stream or something, an extra thing to look at for you, especially with the holidays. I really, it's like, once again, it's a supermoon or something like that, supermoon night, because let's go to the holiday that was on July the 4th, Independence Day. So the American market was closed on there, but let's go to the Canadian one. And the Canadian one was on July the 1st, which is a Saturday. So it's actually Monday, July the 3rd was a Canadian holiday. So I'm trading in Canadian stocks, but the American industry is still moving. So everything in the American markets is moving, but I'm closed. My stock can't move in the Canadian market on July the 3rd. This turned out to be a huge advantage for me because on July the 4th, let's go back to the other calendar, the American calendar, because on July the 4th, Independence Day, nothing's moving down there, but my Canadian stock is still moving. And it just so happens it moved in the right direction for Tesla around that day. So having this market neutralized, there's no negative influences. There's actually nothing happening. Now my volume is a little lower in the Canadian market, but it turned out to be very lucrative. So I learned a lot. So take a look at those holidays at some point. And these are the major holidays that I've listed for you on the screen. And you put them together. So it allows you to capitalize. With a day off on one market, you can get in the other market. That's a great advantage being a Canadian trader. So it's a two-edged sword once again, but generally it's been working out for me on these holidays for the last year. So just look at this as another revenue stream, another tool in your belt that you can use. So that concludes our version of segment Canadian Bacon for our holiday strategies. So we got the gap ups and their next week action. I would look at the tech stops, of course, the Magnificent Seven. Keep my foot off the gas again and don't hit the brake. I should have had my foot on the gas on Friday with all the banks. So we're going to focus on AMD next week as our focus stock. So check that out because there's some interesting items we got coming up for AMD. So anyways, have a great week trading. Have an extra special long weekend for the summer in Canada. And we look forward to seeing you in our next segment. Thanks for joining us.